Hi everybody, how are you doing? Hope you're having a great day. Hope you had an excellent week. I know I did. Pretty busy around here still as usual. Like I've said before in all the other videos, this is definitely the time of year that we're our busiest with, just not only all the stuff that we try and do around the property and keeping things, not only just maintained, but then little projects that build up that need to get done. Some of those are maintenance, some of them are just things we want to do. You just really run out of time quick. But then you add to that, it's that time of year that, the weather's nice. We did have a spell last week, kind of ended on Friday, but for about a week of unseasonably warm weather for us for this time of year and for this area. But Friday, Saturday, Sunday especially, it's cooled off a little bit. It's like back down into the mid to upper 70s. Much better weather for doing stuff outside. And so that means there's things we'd like to do too that aren't always necessarily property related, farm related. So every now and then you got to make time to do that kind of stuff too. You got to take some time for yourself. So busy with work and busy with doing projects around here when I can, during the week and everything. And so we did a little bit of stuff on Saturday, and nothing major, just some cleanup and just basic stuff that you would do. And then so Sunday we had to get up for us pretty early, or especially for me because I'm used to my second shift, so I usually don't get up until about 7 in the morning to deal with the animals. And we got up, it was probably about 5:30. We had to go get some hay. We got a guy that's near us that we buy hay from, and we're able to just pick up, a pickup load at a time. We don't have to get hundreds of bales all at once from him. And so we went and got a few bales of hay, and the only time we could do that was real early in the morning, so for his schedule. So we did that, and then it was just such a nice day. So we get home, we get that unloaded, and we wanted to get some breakfast, and it's just like the weather's so nice. And so we decided to just go for a Sunday drive. It's something that me and Cindy used to do a lot and haven't done in quite a while. And so Cindy's an avid photographer, and she loves looking for nature, animals, even farm animals. Like we'll go driving through the countryside, and if people got horses or cows or goats, sheep, whatever, even from the side of the road, she can get some really good photos. And so we call it photo hunting. And so we used to do that a lot. And before we got so involved with property and animals, when we just lived in a house and that kind of stuff. And we would spend our weekends, exploring the area, learning, about where we live, that kind of stuff. And then, photo hunting, finding things to photograph. And we haven't really been able to do that between her school schedule being so hectic and busy, and then just the general lifestyle of having the property. So we took some time, I think about 3 hours, and we just drove around. Ended up in Wisconsin via back roads, which is really interesting and neat for us because living where we do, we're not far from the Wisconsin border, but coming from where we come from out in the Northwest, you pretty much know when you cross state lines. There's signage. And out here, there's so many little farm roads or back roads that go back and forth. There's not always a sign saying you've entered a new state. It's mainly only on the major highways. So it's really easy to just be out driving around and just exploring roads. And the next thing you'll notice, you'll see a road sign, and you know specifically Wisconsin for us, they name their roads a little different. They have a lot of lettered County Road K, County Road L, whatever. And so as soon as you see one of those signs, you'll be like, oh gosh, we're in Wisconsin, and it's pretty funny. And a lot of times we're out where our phones don't really work that well, especially the like Google Maps feature. So you can't always just pull your phone up. If you had a true GPS system, you might could, but not with the way the phones, they use the internet a lot of times for that. They'll use GPS to locate you, but they use the internet to build the map, if that makes sense. So you can't always pinpoint where you are, which is kind of half the fun. So we got to do that, and then came home and decided, we would go out for a late lunch, early dinner kind of thing, which is kind of what we do on Sundays because we just like to wind down once we're done on Sunday. Usually we're working outside, and when we get all done and cleaned up, we'll just go get something to eat and call that it for the day, and then just kind of come home and tend to the animals, and then that'll be it. So we did that. Well, we got home, since we did, like I said, we kind of a late lunch, early dinner, and and it's daylight so long now. I felt like, I had a little bit of time to do some stuff, so I stacked some firewood. Did manage to get a little bit of wood stack this weekend. So now that row's done, and I'll start building rows out here, going this direction. This will be one big cube. Still got a little bit left to stack here on the ground. And then as I split this, we'll stack it. But the neighbor has, still has a lot more to bring over to me. So we got plenty of wood. But been so busy with other stuff that I just kind of have neglected stacking it. But anyhow, I got that row finished, and now I'll just build off of it. Good times. I've neglected the firewood for a couple of weekends now, simply because we've been so busy with other stuff. And so my fear is I don't want the neighbor to think I've kind of forgot about him and all the wood that's just waiting over there to be delivered. So I really got to get after stacking the wood here, and so that he can bring more. So I did a little bit of that, and I don't know that I'm going to be able to this week, simply because I'm back on overtime this week and next week. So I leave really early, much earlier than normal. I leave the house, around 10 o'clock now in the morning. So it doesn't give me a lot of time by the time I'm done with, get up, take care of whatever we do with the animals, have some breakfast, and then literally it's almost time to go to work. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And then this week I got to try and squeeze in I have a couple ideas for videos, and I want to try and do them during the week so I can get them uploaded and not make you guys wait till the weekend. So we'll just see if I have time for all that. Other than that, everything's going great. Animals are doing really well. The baby goats are doing great. We're getting to turn them out daily, and they're going out with most of the herd. There's the one, which actually is their father, Buck, that has the horns. He's just too ornery, and we're worried that if he went up and it's one thing when one of the other goats like kind of play headbutt with him. That's normal and that's fine. But he's a little beyond that. He has those horns and he likes to hook. He'll come up and then jerk back like that. And we're just worried that he might hurt one. So we don't let him out with them. So we have to like take turns when we turn him out, which is fine because they've got a nice little paddock that they can stay in. But it's been kind of cool to see them going out and they're venturing out with the herd and all that. So it's really, they're growing up so fast. Everybody else is doing really well. We did have, unfortunately, a loss in the chicks. This is a issue we have not every time we get chicks, obviously, but I want to say, about half the time that we get chicks, when we introduce them into the big coop, they tend, well, they do it in their brood box too, but they do it in the coop too. They dogpile each other. So when you have like a dozen or 15 of them, they'll just all pile up on top of each other. They won't use the perch or the roost. And I don't know what causes that. Eventually they will, but every time we have this issue, and we're having it with this batch, they dogpile on each other, and you can't stop it. You go in there, you break them apart, and scatter them around, and then 5 minutes later they're on top of each other. The issue is they overheat themselves, and inevitably one will die from the heat, from basically just being overheated and suffocated. And that happened, unfortunately, last week. And there's not anything that I know of that we can do about it. I wish there was. And if you guys, any of you that raise chickens, if you have a tip or suggestion on how to prevent that, I would greatly appreciate it, because this has happened once before to us, and it happened again now. Like I said, it doesn't happen with every batch. We've had some that we got that literally the week we put them in the big coop, they were instantly getting up on the perch and roosting themselves. And then we have like this batch, there was 16 of them, and not a one of them wants to be on the perch. I know eventually they will, but but how many will die while they dogpile? You know, it's so sad and it upsets me. And I know they're just chickens, but it's just really upsetting to see this unfold, and to know that, I mean, or at least feel like I'm doing everything right, I'm doing everything I can, and I don't know why they do that. So it's a little upsetting, but you know, I guess with time maybe we'll learn and figure this out. We've been raising chickens for a while now, and I just don't know what causes it. So, but other than that, the other chicks are doing really, really great. They're, gosh, they scatter all over the place. They're all coming back every night, like, you know, everything like you would expect. They're getting along with the other chickens fine. There's some groups that just go, it's just chicks. Some of them are hanging out with some of the older birds, back and forth. So that it's really interesting to see. We still have the broody chicken. She's on her nest, seems to be doing well. That's always a weird thing to see because they never leave the nest. Rarely, you don't see them leave, and you always, you know, instinctively get concerned, like, are they eating, are they this, are they that? They do leave and they do go out, you just won't see it very often. And so they kind of like are like in this hibernation mode. They're just really shut down, obviously conserving energy, you know, because it takes 21 days roughly for them to hatch. So she's still on her nest and doing well, and or, you know, would appear to, from what we can tell. And then last night we noticed, I think we have another broody hen. She was on a nest last night when we went to close the chickens up. Now this morning when I let them out, she was not on the nest. Now I don't know if I'm going to go check after I do this video to see if maybe she was doing her, you know, running out to get something to eat kind of thing. So we'll keep an eye on that and see. So we may have more baby chicks than we originally thought. If we, you know, so she's about 2 weeks behind. It'll be the first time we've ever had 2 broody hens at once. So that'll get interesting if that unfolds, and they all hatch. This is, with this, you never know what you're going to get, because like I've said before, I don't disturb the eggs. I don't pull them out and candle them to see if they were all, you know, fertilized and you know, how they're producing. We just let nature run its course, and hopefully at least one will hatch. And in our experience, you know, if she has at least one, I mean, we've only ever had one not hatch, but you know, that breaks her from being broody, because now she's got chicks to raise and she'll take them outside and do stuff with them. We will probably need to scoop them up and put them in a brood box, simply because this year we have the barn cat, who is very curious about the chickens and does tend to stalk the younger ones. Like when we turned out the younger ones, well, I'm afraid with baby chicks, she might actually attack them. So we may have to lock the chickens, the mama and the chicks, up until they get a little bigger to defend themselves. We'll see. Look at that rose bush. Isn't that pretty? Thing is really blooming this year. This is just over a year old. Cindy planted it last year and it did really well, but this year it seemed to have some bugs. When the bugs were coming out, she cut them all back. We got some treatment for it, sprayed it, and now it's coming back with a vengeance. Good job, Cindy. So other than that, like I said, things are going well. So not much else here on the property probably to really talk about right now. So everything else, just steadily moving along. Channel is doing, in my opinion, really, really well. And so that's thanks to you guys. And I just would love to take this moment to say thank you to all of you. I appreciate every one of you for being here, and for just making, you know, our community, in my opinion, one of the best communities out there. We may be small, and I don't know how long that's going to be. You know, we're growing every week. So as long as we can keep this positive attitude amongst the community, which I have no doubt that we will, because there's such great people here. You guys are all phenomenal. And so that's such an encouraging thing to me to see, and it's really neat. And then, you know, other little things are in the pipeline and working. So I finally got the last piece of the puzzle that I needed to do my company profile video that I've been talking about, hinting towards. I really hope to get that done this week. Now it may take me, because this is a little more involved video, so it may take me a little longer in editing to come up with a finished product. So we'll see, but I'll definitely, you guys, I'll let you all know when that video is done, because I'm super excited for it. It's been a lot of work, and it's just, I don't know, something that means something to me. The review videos, I'll have another one of those this week, and you know, those, because I don't have a ton of stuff from treestuff.com to review, I'm not trying to slam those all out in 1 week, so I'm trying to space them out, you know, every, you know, not closer than a week, maybe 10 to 2 weeks apart, 10 days to 2 weeks apart, so that we have, you know, so that I have enough stuff to actually review. They sent me a few items, and then I have personal stuff, you know, that I've used, and that's the other thing. I want to use the stuff long enough to give, you know, a good review on it. So those are still coming, but they just take a little bit of time, because I'm not going to just, you know, get something that I've never used, use it once, and then do a review about it. I need to use it and you know, see how it works and see if I like it, and be able to give a true non-biased type, you know, review of the product. But those are still coming. I'll have one this week, as far as I know, if everything goes well. Have not had time to work on my saws. I'm really disappointed about that. I was really hoping this weekend to get the little Super 1010 running. I've got all the parts and everything for it, but you know, it's low priority, honestly. So I just haven't made the time to do it, but hopefully soon we'll get that going, and then I can start working on the 250. And my goal on the 250 really is, we'll see how it goes, but if I ultimately want a Super 250, so I may use the 250 to sell once I get it running, to get a Super, or if I can just find a good deal on a Super that needs, you know, mainly just carb work. I don't want to get into motor work. That's just not anything I want to do. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so you know, everything's going great, and I just like to say, you know, thank you to everybody. You guys have really made this a joy to do, and I, you know, I look forward to seeing comments from, you know, especially the regulars that comment often. I look for those, you know, and I enjoy that you guys always have something positive to say. And like always, I would love to see, you know, more interaction from the new people. You know, I'd love to know who you are and what's going on, but it'll all come in time. I have no doubt. So if you have any questions about anything at any time on any of the videos, you know, feel free to ask. Know that, you know, this is a you know, positive place, safe place, if you will. No question is, you know, there are no dumb questions. There are no, you know, any of that. If you have a question or a comment, you know, feel free. I receive all that stuff with an open mind, and I have no problems, you know, whether it's a suggestion or a tip or even criticism. You know, maybe there's something like, hey, you know, don't do this in your videos, it's annoying, or maybe you should do this, or whatever. I can take that stuff constructively. I don't have a problem with it, unless I feel like you're just being spiteful and, you know, just trying to be mean. I tend to believe that most people, you know, especially in a text format like the way comments are done on YouTube, you know, you got to kind of read them really bland, because you don't know for sure what their, you know, there's no inflection in text, so you don't know what their tone was. So you just got to take it with, you know, a neutral tone. And I find that, you know, if you do that, you can get a lot of good results from reading people's comments. Don't automatically assume people are being critical, and I don't. I never have been that way. So anyhow, thank you to everyone for being here. I really appreciate you guys. For those of you that tell others about the channel or share video clips or anything like that, I really appreciate that. That means more than you'll ever know to me, that you saw something that you liked so much that you felt like sharing it to someone. That's phenomenal. So let's just keep it up. Let's keep this thing going. Like I said, I'm having a good time doing the videos. You know, especially when I can. You know, I am restricted by time. And, you know, and I have technical difficulties and stuff like that, but we're working through it, and I think we're, you know, things are working well. So we'll just keep doing what we're doing and slowly evolve and grow, and you know, things will get better as we go along. So thanks again, you guys. I really appreciate it. Hope everyone has a great week. And, you know, just keep on being you, and I'll keep on being me. And we'll just have a good time doing this. Remember, it's always a good day on the farm. Thank you. Bye now.